All right, Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus, episode 244, production. And internet sucks once again, so let me shut off my video, and we'll keep going. All right, production. I've been in this business for almost 6 years now, when I've produced over 1 million words a year of my own words, and with co-authored words, that goes way up, but just my own words, over 1 million words a year. I am singularly focused on finishing the book. And during my biggest year, I wrote every day. I had milestones that I needed to reach on those days. I told my fans when the books were coming. I kept the fans excited through sharing snippets from the books, doing a cover reveal, doing updates. Here's where I am. Here's what's going on, kind of. You don't want to spoil the plot. And then I delivered when I said I would, and then told them when the next one was coming. And I hit all my dates. We had the excitement, we had the generation of the series and the extending plot. I had to cover a 150-year period with that series, so we did it over 10 books. I had no pre-orders and extreme limited marketing, as in no marketing. It was all just hitting the existing fans and letting them know. So the power of rapid release, more than one book a month. We streamlined the process, the production process, so from when I started a book until it was published was maybe 5 weeks. From when I wrote the end until it published was less than a week. And that was because the beta readers were along with me in process as I was writing it. So I would shoot them, here's 10,000 words, here's 30,000 words, here's 50,000 words. And they would keep up, catch up, read it within a day, get that feedback back to me. The editor was on retainer, so the second I gave it to her, she would start it and then get done, send it through the proofreaders. They would read it in a day, and from the end to it actually being published, 1 week. You can do it. All of the steps were done, and editing, beta reading, editing, and proofreading were all done for every book, even though it was less than a month. And that series has earned over $350,000 during its lifetime, those 10 books. But production, one of the keys was I wrote every single day, and I was singularly focused on that. I didn't have to worry as much about marketing. I did do some engagement with the fans because I can't just sit and write for 8 hours. I only needed to write about 3,000 words a day. And when you're focused and doing what you need to do to get that story done, because you are fanatically focused on you are results oriented. You need to get that book done. So 3,000 words a day, you get it one bite at a time. And you can get that done in 2-3 hours of focused writing time if you know what you're going to write, if you know where the story's going. And I did, because like I said, 150 years that I had to cover. So I covered chunks of time. And one book, I skipped ahead 50 years, and people really didn't grouse that much, just because I didn't want to write this series for 20 books. Because I didn't have that much story for it. So 10 books, plenty of story. And the books got longer as I went, because I just had to finish. I had to cover and close side plots that I had opened in earlier books. But singularly focused, I didn't have to spend a lot of time reviewing where I had been, because I just spent the last month writing that book. And now next month I'm writing the next book. So it was all fresh in my mind. I closed the side plots. Beta readers were exceptional in saying, oh, hey, what about this character who's kind of hanging out there? Okay, write him in real quick, add that, finish that, and move on. It was all about moving forward, and we got that done. And the later books, I think the last book was 120,000 words. And I took an extra week to write it because I had to close all those side plots and make sure everything was done on it. But 120,000 words, wrote it in a month, and it worked. Writing every day, knowing where you're going with your writing. If you're just sitting there looking at the page, trying to, as a discovery writer, well, where do I want to go? You got to decide. Decide before you sit in front of that computer. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time. And the best way to make the most from your time is know where you're going to go for at least the next paragraph, and then let that be your guide to where it go from there. You have to get those words. You can't sell a book you haven't written. So that's my production. That was my biggest production year, and I continue to produce. I've already written a few hundred words today. I know it's only 5, but I try to start early and get them done early because when I get tired, when my eyes start to burn, then I'm done. And whether that comes at noon or 4, doesn't matter. So when it happens, and I'm done writing for the day. So I am sensitive to that to make sure that I get my words for the day early. All right, that's it. That's simple on production. You've got to know where you're going, and then you've got to get the words down. You can't be diddle screwing around with all kinds of distractions when you're trying to get those words. And even if you can only write for 5 or 10 minutes at a time, get it. Don't say, well, it's only 10 minutes. I tell you what, 10 minutes now, 10 minutes later, all of a sudden, you've got a book written, and it's okay. All right, everybody. Peace, fellow humans.